Hello guys, welcome to your channel which is Sci Engineers. This is Sushant. So we have started uploading videos for your MHCET section for 2020 for the mathematics section, and today's video we are going to be discussing on the topic which is continuity, which is your 12th standard related topic. So do like our videos, do share it with your friends, and do subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit the bell icon which is just beside the subscribe button. This will allow you to get regular updates of our new videos which will be uploaded. And also please do stay safe for the current situation. So let's get going. So let's have a look at the first question. It is stating of a particular function. So if my function is defined by these things, where it is x square minus k plus 2x plus 2k upon x minus 2 for x not equal to 2, and it is equal to 2 for x is equal to 2. It is stated that it is continuous at x is equal to 2. Then I need to find the value of k. Now since it is stated that the function is continuous, that means my limit as x tends to 2, because it is stated that it is continuous at x is equal to 2, the limit x tends to 2 of f of x is basically going to be existing, and also it will be equal to f of 2, which in this case for x is equal to 2 they have stated that if my function is having the value 2, so basically this limit has the value 2. So this is limit x tends to 2 of the function. So since my limit is extending to 2, that means x is going towards 2 but it is not having the value 2. So I have to use the definition of the function, which is this, since it is defined for x not equal to 2. So instead of f of x, I will be having this as x square minus k plus 2x plus 2k upon x minus 2, which is equal to 2. So now I need to solve this particular limit. Now, whenever you're solving limits, almost 80% of the sums you can solve it with the help of something which is called as L'Hopital's rule. Now, when you're solving by L'Hopital's rule, it becomes really helpful for solving sums. Almost 80% can be solved with this particular rule, but you have to understand what the rule states. Now the rule goes like this, that if I have some limit which is extending to some value a, and I have a ratio of function, that is f of x upon g of x, and if I substitute x is equal to a in f of x and g of x, that value should be equal to 0. That means my f of a should also be 0 and my g of a should be 0. So this becomes a 0 by 0 form. So if you have a 0 by 0 form, then we can apply the L'Hopital rule. That's the condition for applying the L'Hopital rule. So what the rule states is that this limit will be equal to limit x tends to a f dash of x upon g dash of x. That's what the rule is. Now this can go continuously, like if I again substitute a instead of x, and I again get a 0 by 0, then I can again apply this particular rule. That means it becomes double derivative, and so on it will go on continuing. So only thing which you have to remember is that it should be of the form 0 by 0. Now L'Hopital rule can also be applicable for a 0 by 0 form, or a infinite upon infinite form, or it can be in the form of 0 into infinity. There are various other forms which L'Hopital can also be applicable to. We'll be seeing in the next few sums in this particular video. So now I need to apply the L'Hopital rule over here, and since it is said that it is continuous, that means this limit is going to be existing. So I have to bring this thing in the 0 by 0 form. You can see already in the denominator, if I substitute x as 2, I will be getting a 0. So I need that this thing should also be 0. So let us just check if it is going to be 0. So I'm just substituting x as 2 in the numerator part. So it becomes 2 square minus k plus 2 into 2 plus 2k. So if I just open this up, this becomes 4 minus 2k minus 4 plus 2k. So you can see that it is basically 0. So you're getting this as 0 by 0 form, so we can apply the L'Hopital rule directly over here. So the L'Hopital rule will be applicable. That means it is, you have to differentiate the numerator separately and the denominator separately. So if I differentiate the numerator separately, it becomes 2x minus k plus 2 divided by 1. And this value is equal to 2 because the limit is equal to 2. Now in the denominator we don't have any x term, that basically we are getting a 1. So we cannot have a L'Hopital rule applicable now. So what we can do is simply we can substitute x as 2 in this case. So if I just simply substitute x as 2, I'll be getting this as 4 minus k minus 2 is equal to 2. So if I solve this thing, you can see that you're getting the k value as 0. So that means the option is C. So you have to be very careful when you're applying the L'Hopital rule. It should be of the form 0 by 0 or it should be of the form infinite by infinite. Going to the next question, which is this particular thing, that is if my function, so f is basically going from a real domain to a real domain, is given by this particular definition, which is 2 cos x for x less than minus pi by 2. It is a sin x plus b between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2, and it is 1 plus cos square x for x greater than pi by 2. It is stated that the function is continuous on the real domain. Then I need to find what is the value of a and b. You can see a and b is over here. So I need to find the a and b so that this particular function is continuous on the entire domain which is defined over here. Now you have to understand that the function is not in the form of a ratio. So whenever generally if it is not in the form of ratio, you cannot go for the L'Hopital rule. You have to go for the basic definitions of limits. So now let us just understand, if my function is to be continuous, it should be continuous at these discontinuity points, like these points basically, which is minus pi by 2. So I need to find at x is equal to minus pi by 2 the condition for continuity. So the condition for continuity is nothing but a limit as x tends to minus pi by 2. If I'm going from the plus side, f of x should be equal to limit x tends to minus pi by 2 from the negative side, f of x, and also according to the definition of continuity, it should be equal to f of minus pi by 2. So now just recollecting what this notation is, that is minus pi by 2 plus and minus pi by 2 minus. So I will just explain it in the form of a number line system. So we have various points which are given, which is minus pi by 2 and pi by 2. So let us say that minus pi by 2 is this region and plus pi by 2 is this region. Now in the limit, which is x less than equal to minus pi by 2, that means in this region, the function which is defined as 2 cos x. Between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2, the function is defined as a sin x plus b. And for x greater than pi by 2, it is defined as 1 plus cos square x. So this is what we are just representing the function. This is not a graphical representation, it is just we have represented in the form of an equation. So here let us try to understand this thing, that is limit as x tends to minus pi by 2 from the positive end. So you can see I am approaching minus pi by 2 from the positive end. So the positive end function is nothing but this function. So we will just substitute, that is limit x tends to minus pi by 2, the function, and the function is a sin x plus b. On that side we are having limit x tends to minus pi by 2 minus, that means we are approaching minus pi by 2 from the negative end. That means that the function is going to be 2 cos x. So it's limit x tends to minus pi by 2 of 2 cos x. So we'll just deal with these things because this thing is as such, it is going to be this particular function when we are having x is equal to minus pi by 2. It's nothing but this thing. So if I just substitute x as minus pi by 2 in this, because we cannot apply the L'Hopital rule because it's not in the ratio and it is not in the 0 by 0 form. So we can just substitute simply x as minus pi by 2. I will be getting this as minus a plus b is equal to, and in this also we can apply x as minus pi by 2, so this becomes 0. So this is one of the equation which I am getting. Now let us check in the same fashion at pi by 2, just like we had checked for minus pi by 2, we'll check at pi by 2. So this is the point of concern. So according to the definition of continuity, we have limit x tends to pi by 2 from the minus end will be equal to limit x tends to pi by 2 from the plus end. So again, going for this particular diagram, if I'm going from the minus end, that is from the negative side of pi by 2, so it's nothing but this function. So it's limit x tends to pi by 2 a sine x plus b is equal to limit x tends to pi by 2. This particular function, so it's we are going to pi by 2 from the positive end. That means this function we are going to be using, that is 1 plus cos square x. So now substituting x value as pi by 2, so I'll be getting this as a plus b is equal to, and same way over here we'll be getting this as 1. So this is equation b. So now we need to just simultaneously solve this. So minus a plus b is 0 and a plus b is 1, so just adding it up, a gets cancelled out, 2b is 1, so b is half. So we are getting one of the value. If I substitute b as half, I will be getting a is also half. So your a comma b is nothing but half comma half. So that's your option A. Now let's go to the next type of question, which is the function f of x is given. So they have defined a function and I need to check whether it is continuous, discontinuous, or it is not defined at all, or if it is none of this. So let us just try to understand the function, that is f of x is given to us as x minus mod of x minus x square. Now this mod function is very popular in your MHCT or even if you are preparing for your JEE. So let us try to understand what this mod function is. So mod x, according to the definition, it is nothing but equal to x for x greater than equal to 0, and it is equal to minus x for x less than 0. So now let us just try to understand this thing itself, that is mod of x minus x square. The function's value is going to be x minus x square if x minus x square is greater than equal to 0, and it will be equal to minus of this thing, that is minus x plus x square, if it is x minus x square is less than 0. So I need to understand this particular region, that is x minus x square greater than 0 and x minus x square less than 0. So just analyzing that part. So let us understand x minus x square greater than equal to 0. If I just take x common, so I get basically a product of two terms, that is x and minus x. Now you have to understand that the product of these two terms is greater than 0. That means we are talking about a positive number. So a two numbers product is going to be positive when both the numbers are positive or when both the numbers are negative. So that means x greater than 0, greater than equal to 0, because we have an equal to sign, and 1 minus x is greater than equal to 0. That means both the numbers are positive. That is one condition which we have. Or it can be both the numbers are negative. That means x is less than equal to 0 and we are having 1 minus x is less than equal to 0. So from here we are getting the condition that x is greater than 0 or it is, and it is basically, so this is an and condition which we have, that is it should be both, it should be x greater than 0, and from here we will be getting the condition as x is less than equal to 1. So you can see that the common region or the common part which we have is, that is x is going to be between 0 and 1. To understand the common region, so again we draw a number line. We have a 0 and we have a 1. So from here we are getting x is greater than 0. That means this region. Here we are having x is less than 1, means this region. So you can see the common part or the common shaded region is between 0 and 1. Now let us try to analyze this particular thing. It is stating that x is less than 0, and from here we are having x is greater than equal to 1. Now if we just draw that thing on the number line, you have to understand that there is a and in between these two. So x is less than 0 means this part, x is greater than 1 is this part. So there is no common region as such. So this condition is a false condition. So only condition is this particular thing. So basically for x minus x square greater than 0, this condition is 0 is x is between 0 and 1. Now going for the next one, so that is x minus x square is less than 0. So again we have two factors, x and 1 minus x. Now whenever two numbers product is negative, that means either of the numbers are negative, not both of them. So it can be either x is less than 0 and 1 minus x is greater than 0. That means this is negative, this is positive. Or it can be either way, that is x is greater than 0 and it is 1 minus x less than 0. So from here we are getting x is less than 0 and we are having x is less than 1, or x is greater than 0 and from here we are getting x is greater than 1. So from this is my 0, this is 1. So x is less than 0 means this region, x is less than 1 is this region. So you can see that the common region is x is less than 0. So we are getting one of the condition, that is x is less than 0, or let us analyze this part. So it's 0 and 1. X is greater than 0 means this part, and x is greater than 1 is this part. So you can see that the common region is this, that is x is greater than 1. So basically this condition, from this condition we are getting two regions. Either it is x is less than 0 or it is x is greater than 1. So now going back to the function. So this function can be written basically in three different parts, because you can see there are three regions which we have. We have a 0, we have a 1. So we have one region which is between 0 and 1, one region which is greater than 1, and the other region which is less than 0. So there are basically three regions where we have to define this particular function. So now going for just writing the regions, so we have x is less than 0, we have x which is between 0 and 1, and we have the last one which is x is greater than 1. So now just analyzing, let us see the first one, that is between 0 and 1. So between 0 and 1, my mod of x minus x square is x minus x square. So if I just substitute instead of this mod as x minus x square, you basically get the answer for that as x square, because it is x minus x plus x square. So we have x square as the answer for that. Now when we go for x less than 0 or x greater than 1, we have the mod of x minus x square as minus x plus x square. So basically instead of this we'll substitute this part. So if I just substitute that, I will be getting this as 2x minus x square. So this will be 2x minus x square, and also this will be 2x minus x. So basically now you can see from the option itself they are just talking about x is equal to 1. So continue to at x is equal to 1. So I'll be just checking at x is equal to 1. So if I just check for x is equal to 1, I need to just substitute the value of x as 1. So you can see if I substitute 1 in this particular function, I get it as 1. If I substitute x as 1 in this also, I'll be getting that as 1. So for both of that, we are getting the values equal to each other. That means the function is continuous at x is equal to 1. Okay, going for the next question, we have f of x as x cube plus x square. It is some function which is defined, and we have my g of x, which is f of mod x, which is for x greater than 0, and it is f of minus mod x for x less than 0. So I need to just let us just go for g of x. G of x is basically equal to f of mod x, that is for x greater than 0. So f of mod x means we have to substitute wherever x is there in f of x as mod x. So I'll be getting this as mod x cube plus mod x square. This is for x greater than equal to 0. Now next we have the definition of g of x as f of minus mod x, that is for x less than 0. So if I just substitute f of minus mod x, that means I have to substitute wherever x is there as minus mod x. I'll be getting this as minus because it's minus 1 cube, so it's minus x mod x cube, and this is minus mod x square, so minus square is plus, that means it becomes this thing. This is for x less than 0. Now, as we had seen in the earlier problem, the definition of mod x is x for x greater than 0, and it is minus x for x less than 0. So my x is greater than 0, that means this thing will remain x cube plus x square, because the mod x part remains x only. Mod x remains x. Now for x less than 0, so this is for x greater than 0. For x less than 0, we have to substitute mod x as minus x. So this becomes minus of minus x cube plus minus x square. So you can see from here, this remains x cube plus x square. That is for x less than 0. So you can see that the definition of the function, that is my g of x, is basically x cube plus x square. It's not having any change in the function at 0. So basically also it is a continuous polynomial, a polynomial function. So that means my g of x is basically continuous for the entire range of the real number system. So that's why it's option. Going for the next type of question, which is limit x tends to 1 log of e raised to x upon raised to 1 upon log x. So let us say that L is equal to limit x tends to 1 log of e raised to ex upon 1 minus 1 by log x. So now if I just substitute x as 1 in this case, you can see it is log e. So log e is basically nothing but 1, and if I substitute here, I'll be getting 1 by log 1, and log 1 is 0, so 1 by 0 is infinite, so it becomes 1 raised to infinite. So as I had stated that L'Hopital rule has many other alternatives to it, so this is one of the alternative, which is 1 raised to infinite. So when we have a 1 raised to infinite, what we do is we just take L is equal to the limit part, and then we take log on both sides. So we have a log L is equal to limit x tends to 1. So this becomes log of e of x, ex, divided by the raised to comes down, that is log x. So this step is very crucial whenever you see that it is of the form 1 raised to infinite. So because of this, what happens basically is, now if I substitute x as 1, so you can see that we have e, which is present over here. So log of e is 1, and again we have a log, so log of 1 is basically 0. So we have a 0 in the numerator. Now here if I just substitute 1, so log 1 is 0. So you can see it's 0 by 0. So basically your 1 raised to infinite changes to 0 by 0 form. So we can apply the L'Hopital rule, because directly we cannot apply over here, because for L'Hopital rule you always require a 0 by 0 or infinite by infinite. So now, since it is of the 0 by 0 form, L'Hopital rule is applicable. So we have to do the differentiation. So this becomes limit x tends to 1, the derivative of this. So derivative of the first log is 1 by log ex into the derivative of the second log is 1 by ex into ex derivative is e divided by the denominator's derivative, that is log x, so that's 1 by x. So let us just cancel out the terms. So we have the e getting cancelled, the x getting cancelled, and now if I just substitute x as 1 in this case, I'll be getting that as log e, and log e is 1. So answer we are getting it as 1. So you have to remember on this side we have a log L is equal to 1. That means if I take anti-log, it becomes e. So basically the answer for this question is B. Thank you guys for watching this particular video. Let us know how the problems are dealt with, and also if you are able to understand the particular problems which we are solving. And also let us know in the comment section what more videos you would like us to make on. So this is Sushant signing off for today. So keep learning, keep watching, and happy learning, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. So thank you guys. Bye.